Please welcome Executive Vice President, Sales, Salesforce, Kim Bradbury.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our nonprofit keynote this afternoon. Hold on. Just between you and I, it's the best keynote here at Dreamforce. But you did not hear that from me. You didn't hear it from me. Now, in all seriousness, I'd like to first say thank you. Thank you first for being here, because we do know you have a choice. And thank you for continuing the amazing work that you do day in and day out in the community to drive impact for good. It is such an honor to work alongside all of you. Our commitment at Salesforce is to you, the change makers, and all the work that you do. We support over 62,000 nonprofits globally. And did you know we've been inventing and innovating on nonprofit technology for over 20 years, right? Which is incredibly important. So we have curated an amazing show for you today, full of impact and fun, I promise. We'll first start with sharing how we're going to navigate change in the community. We'll then explore the Agentic AI era for nonprofits. And you'll hear directly from a nonprofit on how they're tackling some of the challenges that you may be tackling today. And then, wait for it, we're going to build an agent right here in the room. You heard me. It's going to be incredible. And don't you worry, because before we're done, we're going to provide you with an action plan that you can take back and build your own agent. Because we know that is exactly what you want to do after spending a week here in Dreamforce with us, right? All right. Finally, we're going to wrap up right where we started, and that is with the community, and we will tell you the next steps. Now, how does it sound? All right. Let me get out of my own way and start this show. It is my pleasure to introduce you to the amazing Director of Product Marketing. Andrea Schiller, come on up.
Thank you, Kim. Great job. Yes. Thank you so much, Kim, and good afternoon, everyone. As Kim mentioned, we are hosting the best keynote at Dreamforce because of you, the amazing change makers. So I've been part of the nonprofit community for over 10 years, and it has been just such an honor and pleasure. We have navigated a lot of change together, and one of the biggest changes that I've personally experienced is becoming a new mom. Now, because I'm never sleeping, I have a lot of time to think about legacy, the impact I want to have, and the work that I want to do. And I continue to be extremely grateful for all of you. You are doing incredible work in making sure that we are solving the toughest challenges and leaving the world a better place for future generations. So heartfelt thank you from me and my daughter Ellie, who you can see on the right here. Yeah, thank you. And we will be navigating a lot of change in the age of AI overall, but we are in good hands. I remember 3 years ago when we launched predictive and generative AI, if you can think way back then, I joined a virtual coffee chat with the community, and so many of you gave me feedback around what AI meant to nonprofits, and a lot of you offered to meet with me one-on-one. Now, this is a very simple example of what the community means: giving a helping hand, offering support, and becoming ever curious. Now, we're going to be going through a variety of different challenges with AI overall, and we want to dive into what those actually are. So every year, we publish our nonprofit trends report. And the results from this year should be a surprise to no one in this room. The number one challenge that nonprofits are facing are raising sufficient funds. Number two is managing workload, and we're still seeing an increase in demand for services overall. But what's really interesting was that AI adoption is growing, and AI is actually filling in a lot of the gaps there. So we found that 54% of nonprofits are actually piloting or using AI, which is a huge jump from the 12% that we saw last year. And in terms of use cases, nonprofits are telling us that they're using AI for fundraising, program design, service delivery, marketing communications, and impact reporting overall. And that's great, that's in the trends report, but we actually want to hear from you. So as Kim mentioned, we're going to be building a live agent on stage, which is super exciting. So I'm going to ask you to do something that I would normally never ask, but please take out your phones and point to the QR code here. going to pull up a form, and you're going to be able to make a request for an agent that you want us to build live. So we're going to give you some agent inspiration. What if you could have an agent that summarizes all of your donor information before going into a meeting? What if you could have a gift entry agent that actually goes in and will put in all your gift entry data, all those manual tasks, and give you more time? Or what about a fundraising strategy agent? So this agent would provide you a list of prospects along with a personalized breakdown of what you need to do to get them to give. So those are a couple of ideas. Definitely fill out the form. And Jared Jones, our amazing technical architect, is going to be starting to build the agent, and we'll have a big reveal. So thank you, Jared, for all the work there. So as we talked about, the age of AI is here. We have arrived, and nonprofits need to prepare. And it's not about replacing humans and replacing your employees or staff. It's about harnessing the new tools that are available to make you more efficient so you can spend more time on your missions overall. Now, I want you to think about this new way of working. What if fundraising opportunities came to you? What if agents did the busy work and you could focus on your mission? And what if your days were filled with impactful moments instead of browser tabs? Wouldn't that be amazing? So this is going to be possible with Agentforce 360 for nonprofits, our holistic solution set built on the Agentforce 360 platform. It is trusted and secure overall. As you can see here, Data 360 is able to pull in data from disparate systems, connect that data, harmonize it, and push it out to the variety of apps that you see over here. From there, we also are going to see that accurate data in our purpose-built product, Agentforce Nonprofit, previously known as Nonprofit Cloud. We're also going to add in a conversational layer with Slack, and we're going to use all of this to build out purpose-built nonprofit solutions across fundraising, marketing and engagement, program and outcome management, volunteer management, IT operations, and grant making. So a ton of goodness for you to take advantage of. And what do organizations that look and embrace this new way of working in the age of AI look like? Well, they're going to go from siloed systems and data to fully unified data. They're going to go from manual workflows to conversational and AI-first engagements. They're going to go from reactive support to always-on experiences, and they're going to go from staff burnout to the ability to focus on mission, which is critically important. So with that, it is my pleasure to welcome to the stage Lori Freeman, our GM, to talk about building momentum with Agentforce 360 for nonprofits. Yeah.
We made it to the last day of Dreamforce. I'm not gonna lie, when we got this keynote time, our team said, Thursday afternoon, who's still gonna be here, right? And folks are gonna be laid out at the Dreamfest, so they'll be able to get into but look at this room, it's really full. Thank you all so much. And what you see, if you look around, are organizations that represent all different shapes and sizes, so many different causes, and you see a bunch of different stakeholders in the room. I see employees, I see volunteers, I see colleagues, I see partners. We all wear a lot of hats. At Salesforce, we recently celebrated our 26th anniversary. And in those 26 years, we pioneered the 1-1-1 model. And 19,000 organizations have taken that pledge. That's all of those organizations signing up to support you. And we are not slowing down at Salesforce. We continue to invest in building solutions specific to nonprofit problems. So I get the section where we actually get to talk to you a little bit about our demos. But before I go to the demo, I want to share an aha moment with you that I recently had. I was talking with a customer about this emergence of AI. And the individual shared with me that anytime there's technical disruption like this or innovation, we hear this phrase, I'm not technical. So just by show of hands, here who in the room, who would identify as technical? And some folks are probably afraid to, look at all the hands going up. I love this. That's fantastic. Well, that's really unexpected, y'all. Now what am I gonna do? I don't know if the joke's gonna work, Kim. This is where it all goes south. No, but you may be the most technical folks in your organization, right? So in this conversation, this individual is saying, in the sector, sometimes we take these moments where we say, our data's not ready, we're not there yet, we don't have the resources. And it made me think back to when we were moving from flip phones to smartphones. In my family, I'm the technical one, which I like to remind everyone does not mean I'm IT support. But anyways, I got to teach my parents how to use smartphones. Perhaps some of you also had that adventure. And in doing that, the phones became such a big part of our lives. And I suspect if I were to suggest to any one of you in this room, only one person in your family or one person in your organization needs a smartphone. How would you guys roll with that? How'd that go over? Pretty terrible, right? Because of all of the advantages that have been brought to our lives by being able to be collaborative and connecting and, to doom scroll and all of those things as well. But in any case, it really struck me as I was thinking about this. This is the moment that we're in with Agentforce. I've had so many conversations, again, with colleagues, customers, and partners who say, we're not ready for Agentforce. We're tired of talking about Agentforce, 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 Agentforce. And I just want to say today in this room, we are ready. This technology is moving faster than anything that we've had before. So keep that smartphone thing tucked in the back of your head. And also keep in the back of your head, we're here to work with you. We're going to continue to invest in these solutions, and we want to meet you where you're at. So if you're in spreadsheets, got you. I still use spreadsheets all the time. Not usually I'm looking at someone from my team that's like, you use spreadsheets every day, Lori. But I use it as a scratch pad, really. But we're building a single platform to give agency to all of your data. So we're going to start first by talking about volunteer management. And volunteer management is built, what you see on the screen here, on top of Agentforce, nonprofit, a single platform. Now, wait a second, before I go any farther, I think we've kind of glossed over some of the name changes this week. Now, some of you may know that at Salesforce, we have a tendency to change names 6, 7 times. Now, not everybody in the room got that joke. But my nephew told me this weekend, hi, Joshua, that I had to try to get that joke in. But in all seriousness, we've made a name change because our investment is changing. We want your fundraising tools, your program tools, your grant-making tools, your outcome tools, your volunteer management tools to have agency. So we needed a new name because that's what we're evolving to. But we're going to start with volunteer management. Now, we like to do demos and tell customer stories here at Dreamforce. And if you've seen a Dreamforce demo, you know that you need to work with a strong solution engineering partner. And I feel very fortunate because I've been working with an SE team who has nerves of steel and 100% accuracy in rehearsals. And I get to welcome to the Dreamforce stage, Chrissy.
Hello. Oh, thanks, guys. I will say, I've had my coffee, I've fed the agents data. We're ready.
All right, let's do this. All right, so we have up on the screen here our new volunteer management. We told you last year at Dreamforce we were going to build this, and we did it. And we did it together with you. Thank you to everyone in this room who participated in a design partner program. In our design partner programs, we've met with over 300 organizations in the last year. That's huge. We build solutions together. So what you see up here are the volunteer initiatives. You see some insights like the number of volunteers per hour. You see the shifts that you need to find filled. You see that you're able to find matching volunteers. Chrissy, I think we should actually take a look at a volunteer profile. Great. So up here, what I like about the volunteer profile is everybody in this room knows that your volunteers often turn into your largest donors, right? So when you're looking at this information, you not only see the volunteer engagement, you also see their fundraising engagement. But Chrissy, I think it's time to invite agents to the party. So, anybody out there spending hours coming through spreadsheets trying to determine how many of your shifts still need to be filled? That's what we're doing up here. We're looking for unfilled shifts. And that's pretty freaking cool. But even better is, let's take a look at what it looks like for your volunteers externally on the portal. This is a volunteer signing up for that shift that needs filled. That full circle experience, all of that end to end. Chrissy, you did a great job. Thank you. So, that was our big announcement from last year. But there's some folks in the room who are new to Nonprofit Cloud. So let me give you a very quick tour of what else is in Nonprofit Cloud. You knew I was going to do it. You knew I was going to mess up the name. Let me give you a quick tour of what's in Agentforce Nonprofit. All right, so we know everybody in this room struggles with fundraising and income, right? Nobody has too much money. So you have a rich set of fundraising tools that solve 3 problems. First and foremost, a lot of organizations in this room who are turning up their major giving high net worth individual income programs. So you'll see a little bit later this morning our prospect research agent. You also have tools for mass market and acquisition fundraising, because for a lot of the organizations that are in the room or online, we know direct mail continues to be the workhorse of your income. He was just running. I was like, what's going on? So we know that you need tools for source code optimization, campaign things. These are some of the things that we've worked on in the last year in innovation. And finally, as those donations come in, you need to be able to enter them in batches, and you need to be able to reconcile. And we've been investing in those areas as well. But I've always taken a lot of great pride in leading and developing for solutions that help you manage your mission. So we have the right tools to help you manage your mission, whether that's case management, whether that's something for your mission that's community-oriented or education. We've got you covered. But we also work with funders. So for those of you who are grantors, we are able to help you manage your entire application lifecycle. And in the last year, we've been working on the peer reviews and working on the overall application framework. But all of this comes together. All of this work that you do, it's about the outcomes. So being able to connect things, full traceability, from the moment that you're funded until the program is delivered, being able to measure and evaluate what actually needs to happen, what you're accountable towards, being able to iterate, that's where our outcome management tools come in. This is all available today, but there's nothing better than hearing about this directly from a customer who has walked these miles. So please join me in welcoming Kathy McCarthy to the stage. We're here, we made it, Kathy. All right, so I failed to say that you're the CEO of Pacific Clinics. Tell everybody else in the room what Pacific Clinics is.
Sure. Thank you so much for having us, and good afternoon, everyone. Pacific Clinics offers life-affirming support through a comprehensive range of mental health and social services across California communities. That work is done by an incredibly large and effective team of professionals. These are employees who live in and work in the communities they serve, and they understand what the role is for those people in that community. Their job is to ensure that we are providing high quality, on time, and compassionate care. And I'm particularly proud to say that we reach over 100,000 people each year, and most of that community are the vulnerable people in our community, which is incredibly important and makes us part of a very large network of nonprofits that are working to close that critical gap in access to care.
Kathy, I've been fortunate enough to work with you and your organization for a few years, and visionary is not a word that I use lightly. I absolutely think the way that you lead your organization in this sector is visionary. You've always been firmly committed to technology as part of your strategy. Mm-hmm. Can you share with the room how you think about it and how you lead from that?
Yes, so we are actually right now in the middle of a pretty significant transformational change in our sector. So in our traditional model, our clients are essentially referred to us, assigned to us by one of the 58 counties in California. Under this new approach, we will be able to reach out directly to a potential client for the first time. And this concept of client choice is incredibly important to the healing process of the individuals that we serve. So that is so important to us. But we also knew that we as an agency were going to need to move quickly and efficiently to find a way to meet that need. And for us, we knew that we were still engaged in a lot of manual documentation, that we had fragmented client data views, and that we had this patchwork of funding, and somehow we needed to bring that all together. And we knew that we needed to find a platform that could work with us now and that could also scale with us as we grew. So for us, that choice was Agentforce Nonprofit. Got it? Okay. It changed during rehearsals, actually. Agentforce nonprofit. And couldn't help it, sorry. Be the last time I'm up here. So just want to say, it was really important to us because it was touching on 3 really critical factors for us. One was the access to our clients and that our clients could have access to us directly. The second is agility. We need that for our employees to be able to move with the client through their progress to healing. And then finally, we need accuracy of data. And for us, that really means the ability to produce both meaningful and replicable outcomes.
I know you are also a big Chrissy Thompson fan.
Yes! Definitely.
I think this is a good chance to maybe do a little bit of an ambient demo. Kathy's brave. She's going to talk us through some of the demo, and Chrissy's going to drive. But let's start with some of the insights that your organization relies on and depends on in this work.
Yes, and so what you're seeing here at a high level is the fact that, shockingly, we can now track both our funding and our programming together at the same time. And for us, that is a really big deal, and I'll just give you a couple of examples. So just if you go down to the program level in an individual program, we can actually show the entire portfolio of funding for an individual program. And in our sector, that can include health plans, government contracting, school districts, grant funding, and charitable funding within a single program. So the ability to do that is important. Another example is the fact that we can also be much more targeted at looking at potential service gaps in our program, as you can see, and then we can guide the agent to be asking those questions for us so that we can say, take this data, give it to our business development team, and let the team start doing much more targeted work aimed at expansion of contracts.
And what you see in the background there with what Chrissy has done is actually asking questions like, which programs need more attention? Imagine being able to rely on your data to give those kinds of insights. Yeah. You're doing a great job, Chrissy. Why don't we take a look at something a little bit more granular, and you can talk us through that.
Yeah, be happy to. And before that, I just want to mention that to give you some context before we drill into a single program, is that we operate over 200 individual programs in the organization, and they're constantly changing. In addition, they each have their own workflow. They have different compliance rules and eligibility requirements. So as you see us drill down into a program, just imagine we need to be able to do this 200 different times at least. Yeah. Thank you, Chrissy. So she has pulled up our school-based intervention team program, or SBIT as we call it. And SBIT is essentially a suite of customizable services that we offer to schools and school districts across the state on-site at schools. A really important program for us. And once we've enrolled a school district or a school, we're able to then track all of the enrollees in that school or in the school district very easily, which is incredibly helpful. And then if we move down to the program level, another really important piece is we are now able to be much more targeted in our activities and our focus with our funders. And the reason we can do that now is for the first time we can match our activities and our services to a specific funder within a program. So rather than having to wait until the end of a contract cycle to offer our outcomes, we can do it essentially continuously. This is really great for your relationship with your funders because you're able to show them during the life of that relationship how you're doing. Do we need to pivot and offer different or more services? It makes us incredibly well prepared at the end of the contract cycle to be able to show them quickly what we're doing and how another set of services might amplify their progress. And frankly, it's allowed us to be a little bit more, I'd say a lot more, assertive and more opportunistic when grant opportunities come up because we can pull down that outcome data immediately. And then finally, another treat about this is if we drill down to the client level, so you see one of our clients here, Joe Williams, and you can see how we are wrapping services around her. So in addition to school-based services, she is in 3 other programs in our organization. And that for us is incredibly important. The ability to move within a few clicks from individual to program to the entire program as a whole across state is incredibly important for us.
With more than 200 programs, demand rising all the time, this work is 24/7, 365 days a year. How are you thinking about scale?
Well, another part of the change that I just referenced is the fact that we are receiving thousands of referrals each week now. And in our traditional model, it could take several hours for us to process a single outreach. So we knew we were going to need to make an investment in that intake and outreach time process, and that we needed to look at things a little differently. So we took another one of our very large programs, our Enhanced Care Management Program, or ECM as we call it, and decided that we needed to build a client-facing agent, or what we call a compassionate agent, who recently was named Hope. And Hope is going to be able to be available to potential clients and clients 24/7. And we'll be able to have any prospective client ask questions, which we've teed up here. So for asking a question like, what is ECM? Am I eligible? And our hope in the future certainly is, as they start to say they're interested in pursuing services, that we can be a lot more targeted in putting them right with the right type of provider sooner, and that we can elevate those urgent needs as they arise. So very, very important for us.
And I know one of the things that you talk about being really important is the experience of your employees, the employee engagement and employee success. Can you talk about how, as these referrals come in, the things that you're doing to ease the administrative burden for your employees?
Yes. So we also knew it was going to be important to introduce another agent. We really needed to spend that time focusing on the client service aspect of our work. And so, if I may, I want to do a shout out certainly to Salesforce, and then I know they're here. Provisio Partners is here. So a huge shout out. Provisio Partners has been our implementation partner. You guys are awesome. And we've had Erica and Frank's right there. Erica and Frank have been with us from the very beginning. They were a large part of helping us find a solution. And we knew we needed to be able to summarize client data really quickly, especially as you see them moving across programming. So we made the decision to create a participant management agent, and people can use a participant management agent now. Essentially, what it is doing is quickly summarizing data in real time for a client. So if we can pull back up our friend Joe Williams, you can see here. So this is an employee can ask this, summarize Joe Williams, please. And so you see a quick snapshot of where she is today in her services and where she is in her care plan. So it allows them, again, to move really quickly into addressing this. So as I mentioned, we operate in teams. So this means anybody who's in service, either within or across a program, will be getting the current status of her services. In addition, you can see it can start to answer questions. You are all over this, Chrissy. Can you log a call for today and note that we reviewed the care plan? So just by asking that question, it's doing it and putting it into the right systems. So that piece for us, together with the other agents, is the fact that we really are able to ask the agents to do this in more administrative, boring, repetitive work, and to move much more quickly to the engagement aspect of that work, and frankly, to get them into services as quickly as possible.
And you all obviously had early access to the participant management agent. Chrissy's going to actually show you this inside of Slack. We've seen a lot of Slack this week. Everything's about getting into this conversational flow of work. And what you'll be able to see is the exact same workflow that you just saw in Agentforce Nonprofit is also available in Slack. So, Kathy and I, we're both super direct people. Kathy, let's just get down to brass tacks. Let's talk details. What are the results that you've seen in working with Salesforce?
Well, so many, but I think we're going to share a few with you right here. So here are just a few statistics that drive the continued effort to move in this direction. So first, we have had a 538% increase in access to referrals since we have laid down this platform. We have each month, actually, are saving around 900 hours a month, avoiding the manualized entry of documentation. And we are serving 2 times as many clients as we were just 12 months ago.
I've obviously seen that slide before, and it's still but it makes me think everyone in the room is probably seeing those results and going, well, how'd they do that? I want that too. What kind of advice can you offer?
Great question. Well, I would say wherever you are on your technology adoption journey, if you haven't started, get started. And if you're waiting for the next iteration, don't wait. It's moving really quickly, and you just need to get on board and start working things out. I feel like that's really been a real benefit for us. And I do feel like for us as nonprofit leaders, those of you who are in the sector, it really doesn't matter whether you're serving people, protecting the planet, or doing any other of the many significant things that you engage in. It's really our job to do a couple things. One is to protect those incredibly valuable people resources. None of us have enough people to do what we do. And to ensure that you are doing everything within your power to break down access, and access for whatever it means for your mission. And I would say the second piece of advice, and this is really what has worked for us, is to know that you need to really have all of your internal stakeholders involved in those early conversations. So for us, it meant not only client operations or clinical operations and administration and IT, but we needed to have finance, marketing, communications, and legal at the table, because every one of those departments is touching a service moment. And so the sooner you get that alignment and be clear on the impact of the decisions you're making, one, you become a better implementation partner because you're able to work more quickly to define what it is you want, and then to be able to ask for what it is you need.
Everybody at the table, everyone has a seat, no other way to do this. Please join me in thanking Kathy. Okay, so there's a lot here to unpack, and to do that job, I am pleased to welcome to the stage Piper Sullivan.
Thank you so much, Lori. Thank you. It is great to be here with you today. My name is Piper Sullivan, and I have been on the nonprofit team at Salesforce for about 6 years. And in that time, I have seen a lot of change. Now, Salesforce is no stranger to innovation, and I have been a part of some incredible product launches, announcements, and new ways of working. But this, I've never seen anything like this. Now, I'm so excited about what AI and agents can do for nonprofits, but I'll be honest with you, I wasn't sure at first. Can this really help? To get more comfortable with it all, I had to have a little bit of courage and a whole lot of curiosity. I asked questions along the way, and as it was successful, I continued to explore. So that's my goal here today. It's to help you understand the details so that you can get from wherever you are to becoming an agentic nonprofit. Because what we know for sure is that agentic nonprofits have the capacity to overcome even their biggest challenges. And this means a greater impact. So, what is an agentic nonprofit? What makes a nonprofit agentic? Well, it all starts with communication. So, in agentic nonprofit, work becomes conversational. You're working from one unified interface that connects apps, channels, workflows, and people. You're not shifting between spreadsheets, systems, and tools. It's the difference between navigating to your calendar and simply saying, set a meeting tomorrow at 10 a.m. At agentic nonprofits, all employees are augmented. They have help. This means that you can spend your time focusing on furthering the mission, which is what you signed on to do. And this directly addresses one of nonprofits' biggest challenges, which is managing workload. And finally, at an agentic nonprofit, there is one source of truth. Every agent, every human is working from the same live, trusted data. So let me show you how this works. It all starts with a trigger, some kind of input or information. This could be a change in data or status. This could be an email or message. Agentforce takes that input, collects all the details it needs to understand it better, and then it reasons, what's the next best action? And then it takes that action, and that results in your outcome. So let me give you an example. Imagine you have a donor who has given once a month for the past 3 months. The agent recognizes this as a behavior very similar to a high-value recurring donor. And then it reasons, maybe we should send this donor an email and ask them to become a recurring donor. So it asks you, the human at the helm, should we send that email? You say yes, and boom, you've got a recurring donor. And this is all powered by the trusted platform that we have in Salesforce. So maybe you're not there yet. Maybe you're where I was, and that's okay. We are all on this journey together. But I want to share with you a journey of what it might look like to become just a little bit more agentic. So maybe you can start by asking it questions. And secondly, you can ask your agent to take action on demand. And finally, when you're comfortable, your agent can work autonomously. So, show of hands, how many participated, scanned the QR code, said that you wanted to submit an agent to be built? I saw a lot of you on your phones earlier, so okay, great, I see a lot of hands. All right, so the time for the big reveal has come. Jared, let's go to Jared at the demo desk. Welcome to the Dreamforce stage.
Hey, thanks, great to be here.
So can you show us how many people participated? What do we got?
Yeah, we got a lot of responses. 375 of you filled out the QR code. Yeah, appreciate that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it looks like fundraising was the top use case that people wanted to see. I just went through the list and picked one from Brian B, if Brian's still here, that's going to be for matching gifts.
Okay, great. Well, it makes sense that fundraising would be the number one reason why people submitted an agent to be built, because that's the number one challenges nonprofits are facing. So
yeah, absolutely. So I thought we would handle a matching gifts scenario here by going with soft credits. So for those of you who aren't familiar with soft credits, it's basically a way for us in Salesforce to reflect that one donation was influenced by another person or an entity. And so in this case, we're going to take a scenario where we have an employee, Alex Garcia, who works for Omega Inc., and she donated to our organization $500 pretty recently. Great. And even better, her company, Omega Inc., has decided that they're going to match the gift, which is also great. Now, we all love working in Agentforce 360 for nonprofits. But even as easy as we make that in our fundraising application, at the end of the day, no matter what platform you're using, you still have to click through and find the donation, find the contact, create a soft credit record. But what if we had an agent that could do all of that for us? So we're going to click into Brian's soft credit agent here. And first, we need to find and see if Omega Inc.'s donation has come through yet. So we will say, have any donations come in from Omega Inc.? And so Atlas Reasoning Engine in Agentforce is going through the process. It's looping, and it finds the record. Let's see here. Let's try that again. Any donations come in from Omega Inc., not from Alex? All right, well, in any case, we can get to the back end here. So I've already gone through this conversation and tested this. Basically, when we ask if there are... Yeah, we are live, so I did build
this is a
5
live
minutes
demo,
ago.
obviously, yes.
Yeah, so what happens is it finds the donation record for Omega Inc., and we see that it's for $8,950. Now, obviously, Alex Garcia didn't donate $8,950, he donated $500. So I asked Agentforce, can you create a soft credit record under this for $500 for Alex Garcia? And so it goes through and it finds multiple records. So the great thing about Agentforce is it's not going to speculate. It's going to include me, the human in the loop, and it's going to make sure if there's multiple records, is this the right one or is this the right one? So it allows me to select. I submit this, and then the soft credit record for Alex Garcia gets created. It did do this earlier when I was testing it. This is the real conversation that I just ran through 5 minutes ago. Not sure what happened now, but that's showbiz. And conveniently, we are in the back end here, and I wasn't going to show this, but because all of you are apparently super technical, which is great.
Let's look at it.
Let's take a look at what this looks like. So this really is the whole agent. I genuinely did build this right now, and it's just one topic that I made called gift management. And what's great about Agentforce, and especially Agentforce 360 for nonprofits, is that you get some actions built out of the box, both from the Salesforce side and from our side. And so I've used a couple of those. I created a really quick action in just a couple of minutes to go get a soft credit record and create go get a gift transaction, and then create a soft credit record. And that's really it. Now, this obviously isn't a super amazing agent, and it's also not production ready. But the whole point of this exercise is to show that you really can go from idea to working prototype of an agent really in just a few minutes.
And you made this prototype, Jared, in what, 30 minutes?
Actually, 18 minutes and 15 seconds.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, personal best.
Well, fantastic work. It was so great to see. Even the agent in the back end, we don't often get to see what it looks like in the back end, so what a treat. So, Jared, we know that you're a pro. So will you share with the room how to get from idea to agent as quickly as possible?
Sure. I think really the most important part of building the agent is the idea, right? So it's important to understand, have a POV on where is your agent going to have the most value in terms of taking work off of the hands of humans that maybe don't need to do those things, like repetitive data entry, or things that an agent can do faster than a human can. And then that really informs all the things that it's going to use. Is it going to access what data where? And is it going to be able to create records? And then that helps you really inform the design process, and it really does become this simple to design a prototype.
Amazing. Well, big round of applause for Jared. Thank you so much. That was very cool to see. Thank you. So now let's take a look at a nonprofit who's already using agents to scale their impact.
We are living in the future we thought might happen one day. Fires, hurricanes, they're happening with more frequency. They're more intense than they've ever been. Are we ready to adapt? This is a moment in time where Good 360 can step in on a much greater level than we have in the last 42 years. Our entire mission is based on taking surplus product, and we make sure that it gets to people that actually need them.
Typically with disaster, generosity is not the problem. The problem is getting the right product to the right people at the right time.
Before Salesforce, we actually weren't on the ground at all within the first couple of weeks after disaster because there's so much work behind the scenes that we have to do to coordinate.
Our team was being bogged down with everyday admin things.
If a partner would call me to ask where was a donation at, I would have to call 3 different teams to try to figure out where that product was.
Now with Salesforce, everything is integrated. It has allowed us to see a full story of what our community needs.
By leveraging Salesforce, we were able to scale up our activity pretty significantly.
Last year, we went from distributing close to $50 million worth of product to disaster-impacted communities. This year, just in the first quarter, we are already over $100 million of product distributed.
What we like to do is have our people on the ground. That's very important in the disaster recovery space. That's really what we're working on with Agentforce now.
Our first agent that we're building is our resource matching agent.
Think of it as a digital assistant, supporting our team in analyzing what's coming in, analyzing the requests that are being placed with us, and do the matching.
We are now able to ask, do we have this donation? We have a nonprofit that could use this.
We realized we could get very simple agents off the ground in a matter of days, not weeks or months. And through Data Cloud, we hope to give that agent access to real-time data that comes from all systems. Now we have a smarter, faster agent that is making better recommendations, leveraging everything that's available to it company-wide.
When we're working with Agentforce to be able to accomplish these things, that gives me time to get out with our partners and be able to interact with them on a human level.
Let the agents take care of the stuff you don't want to do. They'll do it at scale, they'll do it really well, and let you focus on why you do what you do. I think that's really where I see that transformation, and I can't think of a technology before that that would really accomplish that to that level.
Now, Good 360 is a great example of a nonprofit who's using technology as the center of their strategy. And take a look at these impact stats. Anticipated impact of 3 times faster donation matching, 15 million additional people served, and 20% reduction in carbon emissions. This is incredible. Now, to get your wheels turning about what might be possible at your organization with agents, I wanted to share you a few more examples. So let's start with GenesisWorks. GenesisWorks is placing 600 interns across 180 corporate partners, and they're optimizing on skills, interest, and location. This is a 78% reduction in placement time. The YMCA of San Diego has a membership agent, and it is helping via self-service support members enroll in programs, do account updates, and even membership renewals. And finally, America on Tech has a grant reporting agent, and they are creating these funder reports, and they are reducing their report generation time from 4 days to, get this, 1 hour. Yes, wow. So the impact of these custom agents is undeniable, but we want to make sure that everyone has access to this kind of efficiency and growth. So we have a little announcement, but I would not feel right sharing this myself, so please welcome Lori Freeman, our fearless leader, back to the stage. Lori, what do you got?
All right, so who wants to build an agent? Some of you might be thinking, I don't know how to do that. We want to make sure to meet you where you're at. So today I'm pleased to share that we are announcing general availability for 3 agents. Up first, the prospect research agent. It will be no surprise that we've chosen to build our standard agents around your biggest problems, fundraising and managing your workload. The prospect research agent is going to help you get to major gifts faster. After that, we have the participant management agent. This is the agent that we saw in the Pacific Clinics demo. Their early data points are in. Kathy's team shared with me that they're saving 650 hours a month per program. Now remember, she said they have more than 200 programs. This is helping to ease that administrative burden. And finally, as we launched volunteer management, we know that as we build things, we want to start with that agentic mindset. So the volunteer capacity and coverage agent is available today. That's going to help you identify volunteer shifts that need to be filled and get them placed. Now I know your heads are probably spinning. Everyone's tired. It's been an amazing week. We're going to continue to build agents to help you. We're just getting started. So as you go back and work in your organizations, pick a place to start, whether this is with one of the use cases that you've seen here today or something that you're still ideating around. Just get started. An Agentforce nonprofit has the ontology for the AI that you can depend upon.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Lori. And I love how you mentioned we're just getting started.
Absolutely.
So that's great news. Well, we're coming to the end of our show, and we are going to end exactly where we began, and that is with community. So to do that, I'd like to welcome Andrea Schiller back to the stage.
Thank you, Piper. So let's end with community, and to do so, I would love to welcome Jackie Noden to the stage, the National Vice President of the Boys and Girls Club of America, for our Community Spotlight moment. Jackie.
Hi.
Yes, thank you so much for being here today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I know how to get a good seat at Dreamforce now.
There we go. So Jackie, you are part of the amazing Boys and Girls Club of America team. I know your team helps provide after-school services for over 4 million children and teenagers. Okay. Your team has launched the My Club Hub initiative. You are managing 400 Salesforce instances, which is wild. 800 organizations. The My Club Hub Academy has helped reskill and train 500 accidental admins, which is incredible work overall. Can you talk about the impact that your work has had?
Yeah, I've got lots of gray hair now, so that's been a big impact. We've been doing this work for about 4.5, 5 years now, and for us, we let our clubs lead the way with everything that we do. They obviously know our work really well. Most of our team comes from the field as well. And so we ask them, how are we doing? How is My Club Hub helping you in your operations? And you can see some of that data there on the screen. And one of the things we're most excited about is what started as, an idea of, hey, wouldn't it be cool if we could launch a platform to help really transform the technology at our clubs, is actually ending up having a really big impact on mission. We're keeping kids safer, we're raising more money so that we can grow and scale and serve more kids, and we're helping our staff be more efficient. So getting them back in touch with spending their hours doing that mission work.
I mean, absolutely incredible impact. Thank you for all that you do. I know you are a beloved member of the community. There were so many cheers when you came on stage.
They're all plants.
All plants. Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you for that. Can you share what the community means to you?
Yeah, absolutely. I shared with Andrea earlier, I remember when in the old Salesforce Classic days and the Power of Us Hub, for any of you that go back that far, I remember the first time I was in one of the Salesforce community spaces thinking like, who are these people that are just like online helping each other, like solve problems and build workflows and things? And it really became a space that our team over time has really used to grow our own skills, and how we've also helped extend all the learning for our club as we're thinking about new changes. So we're thinking about, see, we don't have a good acronym yet. That's the issue I'm having. Like everything has to be an acronym. So as we have the new label, and we're thinking about migrating My Club Hub one day, or we're thinking about how do we add agents to the work that we do, we're really relying on the community. And I think one of the things that really resonates with us is it feels so much like home, right? Because in the nonprofit space, that's where my whole career has been. And we're there in that space because we know that we're stronger together, and that's exactly what the Salesforce communities are. That's why we built our My Club Hub Academy. We feel the love when we're at places like Dreamforce and World Tours and community sprints. And so we try and carve out those spaces for our club professionals as well, and really know that as we start to move forward, the way that we're going to do that and really impact change on a large scale is together.
Amazing. Let's give Jackie a round of applause. So, Jackie, we actually have a little surprise for you that we give to our most amazing community members. So, if Corey O'Brien can come to the stage, we would love to give you the golden hoodie.
Oh, wow!
Thank you!
Thank you, Jackie.
It was hard to keep it a secret, but...
Oh, my God. Thank you. Oh, is it a puppy?
And a Sprinty.
Oh, my gosh. Thank you.
The community mascot gets their own golden hoodie as well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jackie. Congratulations. Yes, thank you. Let's give Jackie a huge round of applause, a huge thank you again. So if you're not part of the community, this is your call to action to join. You can scan this QR code, join the online Trailblazer community, and if you are here in San Francisco, December 11th and 12th, we're actually hosting our first ever Agentforce nonprofit community sprint. So lots of goodness coming your way. And with that, we are wrapping our show. Thank you so much for being here. Dreamforce is not over yet. There are a variety of sessions if you're interested in attending. If you want to learn more about Pacific Clinics, there's the QR code here. And for those heading home, safe travels. A huge, huge thank you again for spending your afternoon with us. Thank you all. Happy Dreamforce.